Another Old Testament example of baptism is when Joshua led the Israelites out of the desert into the promised land. They crossed over the Jordan from east to west, and if you might remember, God stopped the flow of the waters so that they were able to cross over on dry land. And that, once again, is coming out of the desert, coming out of the wilderness and going into the promised land. It's again refers to what Katrina was talking about, the locusts, and then moving from the locusts and the destruction and all of the problems associated with that into the honey. And remember that the promised land was the land of milk and honey. And then, of course, we have the New Testament example that we're discussing here of John, who is baptizing in Jordan. And in John chapter 1, verse 28, it says here, these things were done in Beth Abara, beyond Jordan, where John was baptizing. And it's interesting to just take a look at this, because if we turn over to Strong's and we look at verse 28, here, the name Beth Abara, G962, and look at this, Beth Abara just gives us the name. So the origin of this word is 5679, and we can even go further down here to the root, 5674, and this word simply means to cross over. Look at that, cross over. From a spiritual point of view, that's exactly what those who were being baptized by John were going through. They were crossing over spiritually from a world of sin to a world of fruits of repentance. It's interesting to notice this on a map as well. Here is the Jordan River, and on the right here we have Bethany beyond the Jordan, which is Beth Bara. So that's on the east side. And of course, here on the west side is the promised land with Jericho and Jerusalem. So let's take a look at this physically now. And so here it is physically. So this is the ruins, archaeological ruins of Beth Bara that have been dug up. This north-south dark line here is actually the trees that border Jordan River here. And then on the west side here, you can begin to see just how fertile this is compared to the barrenness and the wilderness on the east side. And so the people from the area of Judea, which was on the west, they crossed to the wilderness. They were baptized in the Jordan, and then they cross over back to the fertile land of Judea. So it's physically symbolic, but also very spiritually real.
Uncover the mystery of Adam and Eve's nakedness. Unravel the ambiguous connection between the Hebrew term for naked and the serpent's subtlety. Join us for this free mini-course and gain a profound new perspective on biblical Hebrew. TheExplanation.com/naked